Your new and higher Social Security benefit, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, and SSI, arriving in just a matter of weeks. I have the full breakdown for you in this video. Also, a new report just released showing just how badly another stimulus check is needed right now, and $15 trillion. Do you know what this number represents? Well, I'll be telling you in this video. And lastly, a small group of people in one particular state just approved to receive up to $2,000. All of that to be covered in this video. Let's get into this right away. But really quickly before we do, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so yet, or if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm here for you every single day with all of the latest updates and helping you out in any way that I possibly can through these videos. So again, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos going forward, as well as so you can be eligible for some of these little stimulus checks that I'm sending out each and every week, as well as these special code words that I implement into some of my videos worth $100 a pop. So again, I wish you the best of luck with those giveaways. Let's get into this right away. All right, first things first, let's quickly talk about your new and higher benefit as a result of Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, and SSI that's coming in just a matter of weeks. Now, to be totally clear, this raise is coming as a result of the approved COLA raise, cost of living adjustment, that was announced by the Social Security Administration about 1 month ago in mid-October. Now, that new raise is going to be hitting your new checks literally in a few weeks from now. So let me quickly run through the schedule on this so you can be paying attention to your new benefit and when it's actually going to hit your account. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you probably already know the schedule, but I'm going to run through it really quickly here. All right, so SSI beneficiaries, you're first up. Your new benefit of $841, which is the maximum SSI benefit on a monthly basis, will be hitting accounts on December 30th. Nice. That is the first one going out there. Now, when it comes to Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, and survivors benefits, it's all predicated on when your birthday lands in the month. So let's run through the schedule and the distribution of these payments. All right. So if your birthday lands between the 1st through the 10th of the month, then your first Social Security raised payment will actually hit your account the second Wednesday of the month. Now, if your birthday lands anytime between the 11th and the 20th of the month, then your first higher benefit will actually hit on the third Wednesday of the month. And if your birthday lands between the 21st and the 31st of the month, then your new higher benefit will land on the fourth Wednesday of the month. So be paying attention for those. I'm guessing that a vast majority of you receive your benefits as a result of a direct deposit into a bank account, maybe onto a direct express card, maybe onto a net spend or some kind of other account like that. Or if you're receiving a paper check, then again, you would have to watch for your paper check accordingly. But there you go. Those are the first payments going out in January. By the way, the dates on those, the first wave of payments will be on the 12th of January. That's the second Wednesday. The third Wednesday is the 19th, and the fourth Wednesday is the 26th, just so you have an idea. All right, that's pretty cool stuff right there, right? Your new higher benefit will be coming. All right, so this new latest report just out showing how badly another stimulus check is needed during this time. In the third quarter of 2021, how much do you think personal debt went up in this country? I'll give you a little hint. It's just under $300 billion. $286 billion personal debt went up in one quarter. The third quarter of 2021, personal debt in the United States went up almost $300 billion. Yes, billion, not million, billion dollars. Check this out. Of that money that went out there right there, $17 billion of that was floated on credit cards. So $17 billion of that is actually credit card debt. Well, what's happening, according to what the experts are saying right now and how they're following these money trends right now, they're basically saying what's happening is people are out of money. People are running out of money right now, and they're starting to float their balances on credit cards just like they did prior to 2020. However, there was this massive credit card pay down between 2020 and 2021, early 2021, because of the stimulus checks. A lot of the people who didn't necessarily need the money but yet had a bunch of credit card debt were taking all those stimulus checks and piling them in, paying their credit cards down. However, now that the stimulus checks have stopped as of right now, all those people are starting to float their balances and floating all of their living expenses. Once again, all of these higher prices that we continue to pay from inflation, they're starting to float all of this money on their credit cards once again. So they're starting to see this trend that's actually appearing once again, just like pre-2020, where many people are starting to load up their credit cards because they simply don't have the money anymore, especially right now. Think about it 2 years ago, in late 2019. Think of it then. Prices that we were paying back then, oh my gosh, they were significantly less than we're paying right now. At the grocery store, for cars, for gas, for everything that we were buying 2 years ago, we were paying significantly less. Our money was getting us way, way more 2 years ago. Well, now we're paying significantly more and higher prices on everything. So when we go out to the store to buy the same old goods that we were buying 2 years ago, you know, the balance is coming up way, way higher. When we go to check out, they're asking for, 50% more these days than they were 2 years ago. Therefore, the people simply don't have the money, and we're starting to float our balances on our credit cards. Yeah, interesting. Kind of a scary trend. That is the opposite direction that we want to see things going right now, right? So, at the beginning of the video, I asked you, $15 trillion. What do you think this number represents? Well, that's it right there. That is total personal debt in the United States. $15.24 trillion with a T, not B and not an M. $15.24 trillion. To put it into perspective, that is over 7 times larger than this next stimulus package that they are trying to work out right now. That is massive. Seriously, unbelievably massive. Yeah. $15.24 trillion. That's a lot of debt that we have as Americans in this entire country right now, right? So that's kind of a scary trend. That is the opposite direction that we want to see things moving right now. We want to see people moving out of debt and actually having cash reserves. Unfortunately, most people don't have cash reserves right now, and they're using their cash reserves, if any, if they ever had any, they're using them all up, and they're starting to float all that, their new expenses, their living expenses on credit cards. Sad situation. That is not how things should be going right now. All right, so just approved. I want to talk about this too as well. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is in one state that this was just approved for. The state of Massachusetts was just approved up to $2,000 for essential workers. So Massachusetts, if you're somebody who's an essential worker, you may have $2,000 coming your way. Well, who knows when, realistically, but this was just approved a short time ago. So yeah, essential workers in the state of Massachusetts. So interesting stuff, but remember, all of these states out there right now are flush with cash. The federal government gave out hundreds of billions of dollars just a few months ago to all of these states, cities, and localities. So they're starting to take out that money and send it out to essential workers. They're setting up all these UBI, Universal Basic Income, or GBI, Guaranteed Basic Income programs. They're setting up all of these other programs out there for low-income individuals. The states have to spend this money. So this is another way that Massachusetts is taking some of their money, their excess money from the last stimulus package, and floating it out to these essential workers. So kind of interesting that that's another one that's been approved. There's been other ones that are approved around the country as well. You know, a few months ago, Florida approved $1,000. I believe Ohio approved $1,000 for essential workers. Maybe even a state like Colorado, I think, was another state that approved maybe $1,000. There's a few different states out there that have these payments that were going out for $1,000 for essential workers and people like that. So again, there is much demand right now for stimulus checks, a fourth stimulus check, monthly recurring payments. There's so many indicators. There's so many reports, everything pointing toward additional stimulus checks. But yet it seems like Congress has their head up in the clouds thinking about who knows what, seriously. Like a bunch of hot air balloons floating around with not much inside other than maybe hot air. I don't know. But seriously, it is so obvious what needs to be done right now. And Congress just, you know, whatever they're doing. But seriously, they need to get their head in the game and realize that what's going on right now is simply not sustainable for the Americans right now. And seriously, a stimulus check, at least one more stimulus check, would help out millions of Americans, because here's the deal. As we just saw with those credit card reports and personal debt, people are, you know, in a bad situation, putting that money on credit cards. And we know how credit cards can be, right? It's a very dangerous instrument to be working with. Now, don't get me wrong. I have credit cards myself. I have multiple of them, and I use them almost every single day. But I also recognize too when I look at my statement every time and see that 19.24% interest rate, I don't love it, seriously. You know what I mean? That is a huge interest rate. So it is a scary situation, credit card debt, not a good thing, but we can talk about that in a separate video. I'm just saying, it's kind of a sad situation, right? So anyway, I want to come back to you and let you know what's going on right now. These are the latest updates that I have for you as of right now. Please enjoy your day. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video so you can be eligible for those little stimulus checks as well as these special code words that I drop in some of my videos worth $100 a pop for those people who are chosen. So again, thank you so much for your support. Go back and check out some of the other nearly 2,000 videos right here on the channel. And please remember, I am your one and only daily advocate, and I'm here for you every single day to help out in any way that I can during this time when information is changing very, very rapidly.